hey, fancy seeing you here. The universe has led you to the hashtag NoFiltHer podcast, emphasis on the capital H-E-R. I'm your host, Madelyn Stewart, and I'm so glad to have your unique perspective tuning in today. I'm on a mission to discover what it means to be a woman, unapologetically, no filter needed. In a world where 7 in 10 girls believe they're not good enough, I've created this space to inspire women to live in alignment with their true purpose in life. The important questions have gotten lost in a media-distracted world, but it's time for us to choose collaboration over competition and dig deep into our unique purpose, passion, and identity as women so we can choose to perform at our peak mental state with radical integrity. If you're ready to shatter glass ceilings and show up as the leader and champion you were made to be, then grab your notebook and let's make the change today. You were made for such a time as this. Well, thank you everybody for joining us. I'm so excited to have Miss Virginia volunteer on the hashtag NoFilter podcast. And I started this podcast basically to have candid conversations with women all about their lives. And I wanted to invite Miss Virginia volunteer because we actually became friends towards the end of the pageant, which was like so unfortunate because she's such a fantastic human. She wears so many hats all the time, which is such a cliche to say, but literally she is handling being a full-time PhD student at the same time as being a title holder, and not just any title holder, but a title holder who really, I mean, she walks the walk. She doesn't just talk the talk. And does an excellent job advocating for her platform. So I am going to give her the microphone and let her introduce herself.
Thank you so much for having me. First of all, when I saw that you were lifting weights before I met you in real life, I was like, oh yes, this is the type of woman for me.
This is it.
But so sad we met like literally at the end, but I'm also so grateful. But hi everyone, I'm looking at my computer and then my Instagram live is kind of to the right of me, but my name is Breana. Thank you so much for that amazing introduction, Maddie. I really appreciate you for having me on this podcast. Like she said, I am the very first Miss Virginia volunteer. I'm also a full-time PhD student at Virginia Tech, and I'm pursuing Translational Biology, Medicine and Health. Super long name, I'm sure we'll get into it. And also my platform is RAISE, Advocating for Women's Health, and the RAISE is an acronym that stands for Resilience, Ambition, Integrity, Support, and Empowerment. And those are the core values that I believe represent the importance of overall health and wellness and well-being, because health means more than the absence of illness. And I think that as a society, hopefully, we've really leaned into that over the last 2 years, especially with Miss Rona. And so it's been amazing being able to have not only my passion, but my credibility through my kinesiology degree, then my Master of Public Health, and then being a full-time PhD student as well.
Wow, I had no idea that you had a degree in kinesiology.
Yeah, girl. I wanted to go to med school, PA school, so I was like kinesiology, exercise science, but then public health made my life better, so I went in a different direction.
That is like absolutely incredible. So that's a huge title for your degree. Can you explain like what you're doing with that? We'll start with that. I mean, you're just such a multifaceted woman.
Absolutely. Thank you. Honestly, I call myself a queen of many crowns. Like, we just got to like change them out. But basically the idea is that there's translational spectrum, and science research can only be as amazing and as relevant as those consuming it. So that's going to be the clinical practitioners, your doctors, nurses, PTs, physical therapists, and then also in the community. And so the idea within the translational spectrum is to be able to take your research from the bench, so like the laboratory setting, to the bedside, which is clinical practice, then also into the community. So I'm on the latter side of the spectrum. I do public health implementation sciences, and my other concentration is another super long name, but it's tissue engineering and reparative medicine. So I'm all on the end of community and people. I like that more so than just like cells, even though I think my friends that do that are so brilliant and amazing. That's just not my ministry and journey in life.
Definitely. I'm working remotely this summer for a law firm, and we do bankruptcy and injury. And so it's definitely like a clinical practice. And I love that people like us, we have servant hearts, I think. I know you definitely do. And when you go out into the community and you're able to like see firsthand how things impact people, that's always really rewarding. So my next question, because you're such a brilliant person, and so beautiful as well. And when you graced the stage at Miss Volunteer America, I'm sure everyone, including myself, was just like in awe. So how did you become involved in pageantry?
So multiple, I call these my semicircle moments in life, right? Like I don't say you're full circle until you're like near the end. Hopefully not near the end yet, but a lot of semicircle moments in terms of what led me to compete in pageants. And when I was younger, about 4 or 5 years old, my parents took me to North Carolina A&T, which is an HBCU, and they have campus queens. And so I was at their homecoming parade. I saw beautiful queens that looked like me, amazing gowns, big tiaras. And I was like, oh, wow, they're cute, they're pretty. Then fast forward a few more years, when I was turning 13, I watched Caressa Cameron win Miss America. And I just remember so many elements of that pageant, from her yellow gown to when she sang Listen, to how she like looked when she was crying when the crown was being put on her head, and her mom. And I was like, I don't know how I'm gonna do it, but I'm going to be competing in pageants one day in my life. Well, I decided to run track until I retired at the tender age of 18. And when I went to college, I got involved in a campus pageant. And then after I knew that I wouldn't have stage fright and I had my nerves under control, I decided to try my hand in one system. And I did that for about 3 or 4 years because COVID added a bonus year. And then when Miss Virginia Volunteer was announced, I kind of like, I don't want to say I jumped ship, but we all took a risk being a part of a new organization. And
Absolutely.
that's truly how, like, long story short, that's how I was involved. And, the scholarship aspect of pageantry is fantastic because it basically paid for most of my master's degree, which is great. And then just all the other skills and friendships that you get along the way are absolutely incredible.
Definitely. So for those joining us who know nothing about pageantry, how would you describe like the different systems? You don't have to go into detail
Yeah.
about Miss America Volunteer, how would you
Yeah.
describe that?
I would say that at its core, every system that you come across has the mission of empowering women.
Mm-hmm.
And throughout pageants in general, before you even see us grace the stage, we have a conversation with the judges. That conversation, depending on the system, could be 3 minutes, it could be 12 minutes like us. And so it truly has taught us the importance of life skills while also presenting our talents to the world, to the community, as well as honing in on our confidence. Because regardless if people want to believe it or not, whether it's fun fashion, evening gown, or lifestyle and fitness, there's a level of confidence and self-assuredness that you have to have in order to present yourself on stage in any capacity in these organizations. So that's definitely how I would describe it.
Absolutely. And I think a lot of people don't realize that there is that aspect that happens before anything that you see on stage with interview. Some people assume that pageantry is all glitz and glamour and, oh, what do? Walk across the stage, in a bikini and an evening gown. Well, that's just one part of it.
Yeah.
I'm beautiful and I'm intelligent, and I've already captured the judge's attention with like such an intelligent and compelling interview. So that was a really great little description of like systems. Kudos to you. Yeah. So what was your motivation then to compete for the job of Miss Virginia Volunteer out of anything you could do?
I would say that I wanted to be able to set the precedent in the standard, not only for excellence, but also for longevity. And there's a lot of different, I don't want to say misconceptions, but there's a lot of different things that we observe as girl or women that compete in pageants, and also as spectators of, is this system for me? Will they crown a girl that looks like me? The different conversations that take place behind closed doors that very much so make a difference. So one of my primary motivations to compete, regardless if I achieved the crown or not, was to, one, my friends and I have this saying that we're going to be undeniable. So regardless if we get the crown or not, like, we're making a name for ourselves on that stage. Y'all are going to remember who I am.
Yeah.
To make sure and to show girls and to show just everyone, like, you can be a full-time PhD student and also do something that looks like it's the complete opposite. You can be a girl that lifts weights and be on stage in a bathing suit and have a little bit more muscle. You can be a girl with brown skin and still have the title of Miss Virginia Volunteer. And so over the last year. And then honestly, throughout my pageant career, it's been so beautiful and bittersweet being little girls like Princess Tiana's, because, that Disney princess representation wasn't there until 2009.
Mhm.
And it's not necessarily as common to see Black and African American title holders, and to be able to be that representation, it's been incredible. It's been not only a privilege and honor, and also a great responsibility. Not saying that I have the weight of any community on my back, but just knowing the power that I have to truly make a difference and hopefully a lasting impact in someone's life, the same way that I'm 25 years old right now and I still think about something that happened about 20 years ago. And those are moments that are truly important and so impactful as a title holder.
Definitely. And speaking of representation, I know that earlier on Facebook you had posted, or you reposted this great post just about pageantry, and someone was giving advice to, pageant directors and systems. How do you think that pageantry could improve on the levels of diversity and inclusion and, representing more women of all shapes, sizes, backgrounds?
Absolutely. So when I think about some of these mission statements from organizations, not singling anyone out, but when you say women, you have to understand that women is a gender, and that means that we can include women who identify as transgender, right, into a judging panel. Diversity is not just when it comes to race and ethnicity. It's also a difference in socioeconomic status. It's a difference in religion. It's a difference in upbringing, even as far as geographical location. And so understanding that diversity is more than just one size fits all, but truly understanding too, inclusion means that all those voices are heard and they have a voice at the table. We need to have more honest conversations about it's okay to have differences. They need to be respected. And if pageantry wants to maintain a sense of relevancy, we have to have more diverse judging panels that come from all different walks of life, which allows the door to be open for women and girls who have different, roles within the communities that might be outside the traditional woman who does pageants and has different networks. I think the prime example of this right now is Miss Texas and the Miss America organization.
Mhm.
I've been following her for years. She's absolutely incredible, Avery. She has a huge following on TikTok. She also just graduated from law school. Like, again, like those things are kind of like the antithesis of each other, complete opposite. But she's bringing so much relevancy back to pageantry, because like that organization wasn't afraid to maybe crown something different or out of the box. And that's so important if we want to continue to maintain this level of relevancy in society, and also understanding why and how pageants are still so impactful and important for women and girls.
And I 100% agree that it starts with that judging panel. And it's such an easy step to make, making sure that your judging panel is diverse, and, that everybody doesn't have this certain view of what their title holder should be. You should go in, with a blank slate and really accept whoever walks in that interview room and be blown away, because every single woman, I think, who competed in our organization this year with Miss Volunteer America, I mean, I was absolutely blown away by how multifaceted each person was. So intelligent, absolutely stunning, very involved, hearts of service. So that was really great to see. And speaking of, juggling all these different things and different titles, how did you manage to be in school full-time as a PhD student and keep up with your duties as Miss Virginia Volunteer? We were literally just talking about it, guys. She just came back from a Disney cruise not that long ago, and I asked her, when was the last time that you've relaxed like this, or gone on a cruise or even had a break? And she said, maybe 2019. So how did you manage everything? You're amazing.
Oh, thank you. I want to go back, skirt back up real quick. Pat introduced me honestly to some of the most phenomenal women in life. I think that if people want to let go of that stereotype, that single story of what it means to be a woman who competes in pageant, a pageant girl, people will be blown away by, one, the amount of celebrities that have done pageants in their life, and then two, the amount of phenomenal women still to this day that can. And so it's just incredible. When we were in a room, we were at a seminar, we were in a room full of psychologists and guidance counselors at school and teachers that were just asking questions rapid fire. And I'm I like this. This is filling my cup. Being around powerful women it just like, it does something for me. It just does something for me in
It's
life.
invigorating. Yeah, it like I had so much energy just coming off of other people at that time. There was not a single moment where you could be low energy because everybody else is like feeding,
Yeah, 100%. But as far as handling it all, let me tell you. So when I was Crown Miss Virginia volunteer, that was Saturday in August last year. We had a day on Sunday of like kind of half the day of media stuff and then a brunch. Drove back to my apartment where my school is. The next 2 days I had orientation, and then I was in the car going on to sponsors and appearances. And so from that Thursday right after winning until Halloween, I was doing something every single weekend and basically every week for the crowd. And I had a moment when I was studying for my midterm, and I was actually a weekend of a women's conference I was speaking at. And I'm like, okay, Breana, this is the test. Like, are you really doing what you think you're doing, or are we not handling things well? So I took the test and I like really like was over dramatic. I'm like, I failed it. There's no way I did this. Like all the things, right? Right. So, but
I
like,
cannot imagine you failing anything in life.
I got the notification for Canva at Target of all places, and I'm like calling my mom. I'm like, should I look at it? She was like, Breana, just look at your grade. I promise you, I almost wanted to cry at Target because I passed, and my mom was like, see all of that for nothing. So I would say like imposter syndrome really kicked my butt for a little bit, and it still does. I think that as high achieving women, just wanting to speak from the I perspective, but also knowing like the data that's out there in terms of like high achieving women and high achieving people in general, imposter syndrome is wild. It's the little voice in your head saying like, no, you can't do it. But I love a planner. I love a Google Calendar. Love an iCal, a spreadsheet.
Easy question for you.
Yeah.
It will say a lot about your personality. Do you use both Google Calendar and a physical planner?
Oh yes,
Okay, good.
Full year.
I love you. I do too. I can't like go anywhere. That's one of my favorite parts. I love a physical planner and how cute they are. I'm just like,
and like the pins and being able to cross things and stickers, I just does something for my academic soul. But in addition to planning, like I'm an Enneagram 3, if that like if you're into that, if that tells you anything. But
let's say we're not. Explain.
Like really, really tactful, like type A personality, want to be like really pragmatic and like have a method to the madness. We love a list. We love planning ahead to the best of our ability. Flexibility is something I've had to like work on in life in general, but especially this year. But God, I love a list. It's pretty bad. I love a list.
Well, you have to love a list because I'm sure everything you do needs to be in list form. So.
But aside from that, a good support system. My gosh, like having a friend that's like, "How are you doing?" And when you start rattling off a list of like, "Well, I did this week, this week," and they're like, like, how are you actually doing? Like, how are you doing mentally? Have you done self-care? What has your self-care looked like? Like, do I need to come down so we can just sit and watch a movie? So we can like go out to dinner? Like, my tribe truly helped me when the crowd got entirely too heavy, and I'm so appreciative and thankful for that.
Definitely. And for people who also don't know pageantry, we do have a system of directors and board members. And I can truly say it was like my directors and my board members that got me through everything. And I don't know how they managed to plan everything out, but they had Excel spreadsheets, roadmap to the crown. Shout out, Bob. I see your name is on there, but I don't know if you're watching still right now, but they got me through everything.
That's beautiful.
And another aspect of all of this is being able to have a platform or a nonprofit that you truly care about. And you're an incredible advocate for women. You talked about your platform a little bit at the beginning, but just tell us about your platform in more detail, how you became involved, and what you've done to develop that during your time as Miss Virginia Volunteer.
Absolutely. So like my platform is several years in the making at this point, but I want to go off of the working definition of health, and it means more than the absence of illness. That's from WHO, the World Health Organization. There's some more lines to it, but the central thing is it's not just the absence of illness. It is the whole person. So mind, body, spirit, relationships, financial wellness, different things like that. That makes us who we are, which is really important to realize because I think for the longest time until COVID happened, and more recently, we've had talks about mental health. People just thought healthy meant, well, I'm not sick. Like, check. Not physically sick.
Yeah.
Yeah, I should say that. And that's just not the case. And so as women, I think that we have a lot of different, hats that we wear, crowns that we wear, and for the most part, we come last. Whether that is culturally or, based on history. Something I talk about a lot is the superwoman complex that disproportionately impacts Black women as well as women of color. But to an extent, all women have some sort of superwoman within them. And it's really important that we understand that we have to take care of ourselves in order to, take care of a family. When women are healthier, families are healthier, communities thrive, communities are pushed forward. And that truly was kind of like the basis of my platform, again, through those raised core values of resilience, ambition, integrity, support, and empowerment. And before my platform, I had Sisters with Ambition, which was a mentoring program for middle and high school young women. And we talked a lot about health, but I wasn't just in their face like, this is what health means. Like, no, we talked about goals and how you have to have a good support system in order to achieve your goals, the importance of getting a good night's rest, self-affirmation, positive self-talk, all those things that go into a healthy relationship with self that allow you to be a phenomenal girl and then a phenomenal woman. And so I was able to speak at Freddie Mac this year about Superwoman. I had a talk called Sis Throw Your Cape Away. I spoke on a lot of different podcasts. I've been at women's conferences. It's just been amazing to be able to grow the importance of women's health and well-being. And then I even did like social media campaigns every Wednesday leading up to national called Miss Virginia Volunteer Wellness Wednesdays.
Wow, that is like if you guys go to her Instagram, you can see how when she was crowned from day one, she hit the ground running and has done so much work, like not just for her platform, but appearances. And I mean, she is always out there strutting her stuff. So that is something that I admire greatly about you. Um, so unfortunately, I don't have the upgraded version of Zoom. And our meeting is going to end in 10 minutes. So I will ask you a couple final questions, or maybe we can make this the last question. But
Yeah.
you are about to give up your title. Tell us that date, time, place.
Girl, August 13th, Lynchburg Academy for the Arts. I think it starts at 7:30 till 9:30. But about 10 o'clock, I will be Breana Turner, your forever Miss Virginia volunteer, 2021 out. Just like it's my retirement, okay? Like,
This is it. This
this
is it.
is it.
Pageantry.
It served me so well in life. The last 5 years have been incredible. I don't have anything else to give. A lot of people have been like, so you're gonna like go to another system. I'm like, for the girls that get it, they get it. Being a title holder, whether it's local, state, national, international, whatever, there's a level of sacrifice that we've all gone through. There's a level of just intensity that we've had from working our platform to trying to be the best versions of ourselves. That's amazing. It's beautiful, but a girl's tired. Okay?
A girl is tired of working
girl's
so
tired.
hard.
A
I mean,
girl's
you've done
tired.
everything. And like you've told me before, this was your goal. Like this was your ultimate goal, like a state title. And what more could you ask for? You've served so well. You look absolutely stunning. You were able to spread your platform even more. And then of course that doesn't stop.
No.
Like, so what is life after the crown looking like for you?
I'm going to explore what it's like to just be a student. And I say that very loosely because not only am I a student, yeah, just a student, but I worked on multiple different projects this year as a student, from doing something a little bit extra outside of my normal lab rotations. And that's a project with the NIH that I'm still a part of. The NIH funded this particular project with Virginia Tech. I'm really excited to, speak at different events regarding women's health, regarding women's empowerment, girls' empowerment, and just enjoying my 20s
And as you, speak as
yes,
you, not as your title. That's
yes,
so empowering, I bet, to just be like, this is me. I'm the public speaker. You don't have to, like they always say, a crown can be a microphone, but you want to make sure that you're being impactful and useful enough in your community that people recognize you for that after the crown. So I would say, like, one of the main reasons to join pageantry, really, if anything, is to find the platform that you're passionate about, get the word out there so you can continue advocating for it for, as long as you desire, really.
absolutely.
For performance, if performance is your thing, like
Yeah.
you have an incredible talent as well. So yeah, I mean, you're killing it. And I'm so happy that you have joined me on my podcast. And
thank you for having
yeah, please follow Miss Virginia Volunteer. How can we follow your personal pages, your platform? How can we follow you?
So my personal page is Breana, BREANA _ Gabrielle, GABRIELLE. It's tagged in like all of my pictures. So you just have to like click on the picture. And then also I have a website, breanaturner.com. And also two more things. One, I was at Walmart with my parents the other day, and some people recognized me, like super random. These two literally recognized me from a girls' conference that I had spoken at in like 2017, 2018.
That's cool.
Like at the time you were like, Miss, and I told them, like, yeah, that's crazy. And so like something I put in my farewell speech and like advice I would give anybody, whether it's for pageants or an organization, always be the type of woman that the crown needs her and not you need the crown. Because
say that again.
Literally always be the woman that the crown needs her and you don't need the crown, or that organization needs you. Because regardless if it's for a year or 10, right, from an organization standpoint, you still have to be you. And when the like letters behind your name are gone, like, is your name still impactful? Is your work still speaking volumes for what you've done? And I hope that answer is yes.
Mm-hmm. For you, it's definitely yes. Yeah, I can assure everyone that. Well, that alone just speaks volumes about who you are. Please follow her on all of her socials. Keep up with her platform and Life After the Crown. This is the end of our episode number 3 for the #NoFilter podcast. Also follow me on Instagram at NoFilterPod. And yeah, I look forward to hosting more Instagram lives and talking to you after this, of course. We're going to chat for a while.
Yes, so. Be better.
Yeah. Have a great day. Thank you for joining us.